My name's Salena Geahwie. I'm 23 years old, and yeah, that's me.
Hey Salena, how are you doing?
Good. Advocating on behalf of people and immigrants is just something that's always been important to me because I found myself doing it a lot as like a first gen. Just having to, it starts off as the little things. I think a lot of first generation kids can relate, where sometimes if you have your parents are going to parent teacher conference, sometimes you have to clarify what they're saying, or make teachers or anyone kind of understand where they're coming from, or even if it's kind of like helping them pay their bills with someone on the phone and just pretending like you're your parents because they have an accent that the person on the phone can understand. So you're like at age 5, learning how to help your mom pay her bills and stuff just because the person on the other line just can't understand her. You weren't really proud to be African. It was something that was looked down upon. Just something that you just wouldn't tell people, especially in grade school, or else you would be made fun of. I have like this really, this memory where it's like if we had the code red, which is like in all Montgomery County public schools, you turn off the light if an intruder's in the building, you just kind of practice that. And when the lights would go off, there was like a running joke to like every dark skin or African kid where it's like, oh, where are they? The lights are off. You can't see them because they're so dark. So I know that was one of the things that I would dread, and my fellow Africans in the room, we would all dread just coming to school knowing that it was going to be a code red that day and the lights would have to turn off. Then you knew that joke was going to come out of nowhere. Today, if you ask me, I identify as Liberian American because I want you to know where I'm from and I'm proud of where I'm from. But I can't say that it was always like that. So it was definitely a journey. So when I started off with AmeriCorps, I started working at a nonprofit, CB, which they focus on mentoring young girls. And I was working with the high school girls. And a lot of them, my girls at Northwood, a lot of them were African and they had the same background as me. Moms did the same jobs, worked in the hospital, was a caregiver. We came from the same background. And they also had that experience growing up. And I remember there was a part of the curriculum was kind of talking about identity. And that's when we started talking about race, ethnicity, nationality, and all that came up. And that's kind of when I shared my story with them and told them, how to properly identify themselves, obviously only if they're comfortable. But I told them how I identify. Although I was, born here, I identify as a Liberian American, why it's so important. And now when I speak to the girls and I'm walking down the hallway on my way to program and they're talking to someone, I overhear their conversations of them introducing themselves as Cameroonian American or Guyanese American. And I know that, telling my story has now changed their perspective on everything. And now they know how to properly identify themselves.
For the high school program or for the research project?
The high school program, the research project is kind of all in one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have
AmeriCorps has just definitely opened doors, and through networking and different events that they have, I just meet a lot of people. What would I tell the next generation of first gen, no matter their background? So my answer is just allowing them to own themselves before anyone else owns them. So when you walk into any room, just feel confident in who you are. Because I think when you say that you're from Africa or Afghanistan or where, anywhere, people kind of have a certain idea because of whatever it is, propaganda that's been put out in the news or, wherever. So I think when you come in, you really want to represent your country and your background